Hey folks, Dust here, and I want to do another update video talking about how I'm making a final push in 2018 to do some live events for CSGO and perhaps maybe even other esports, as I find myself in a situation with a lot of uncertainty, as it often can be for freelancers, especially ones that aren't at the top of the totem pole, where you don't really know what's coming next and how to handle things. And essentially, I've just been trying to do my best to try to get out there and grind. And that's what I want to do. I want to get out to many events as possible and keep improving, but it's not always necessarily under your control. And so I've been trying to do different things to help that along, though, as best as I can. And one of the things I did, if you want to check them out, is I put together a couple of demos to just kind of show a little bit of my work. You know, demo reels can be quite common in other professions, and I have seen it happen in esports for hosts and different things like that. So I put some together. I did one for commentary and then one for analyst desk work. And then I have another one that I haven't listed, but it's a combined one to use for, you know, event organizers and agents and stuff like that if I ever need to do it. And it's not like I was trying to use these as some like crazy highlight reel of how amazing I am or something like that. I really just kind of picked clips to kind of demonstrate what I was capable of doing. So for the commentary one, obviously in CSGO my primary focus is color commentary and analysis, but I put a couple of play-by-play clips in there just to show that I was capable and it's something I would be willing to do and would be willing to work on and try to get better at. And this is especially important if I'm ever going to work in another game, or if I'm going to transition to another esport or add another esport alongside CSGO. It's usually easier to do play-by-play. You know, you have to kind of be in the scene a little while, I feel like, to really learn it, really be able to deliver as a color or as an analyst. And a lot of the time, former professional players serve those roles. And so, yeah, play-by-play is just a little bit easier to transition with. So I put a couple of play-by-play clips in there, but I also did some color commentary clips, just kind of showing some of the things that I can bring to the table as far as what information I can bring in a broadcast, how I can pass back and forth with a co-commentator. And so I'll just kind of put a couple of examples of like some mid-round color commentary, some, you know, pre-round analysis, some post-round, recap stuff, and just kind of a mixture of things. And on the analyst desk, I did a similar approach. I made sure that I showed myself in different environments, working with different people. You know, some clips I'm working with Richard and Thorin, some clips I'm working with just Thorin, some clips I'm working with like Moses and Launders, another clip I'm on the ECS desk with James and DDK and Vendetta. So I tried to show myself in different settings, and then I tried to show myself talking about different things. So like some of the E-League clips are me talking over highlight packages and focusing on a key player. You know, some clips are me breaking down how a team likes to play a certain map. Some stuff is me talking about a couple of different players. So I try to just show a little bit of versatility, to show kind of all the things I can do. Again, not trying to like toot my own horn, but just trying to show what I can do and try to get myself out there more. However, I find myself in a little bit of a dilemma in CSGO when it comes to analysis and color commentary, because it feels like I've been received the best as a desk analyst by a lot of community members and fans of mine that do follow my work, and even by other CSGO talent that I talk to privately, or even like on that return of By the Numbers with Richard and Thorin. I've come up on that show a couple of times, and most of them agree that I'm a better analyst and a caster, and I can understand that, and I do agree with that to a degree because I am focused on analysis. But I'm in this situation where I am outside of Thorin and I guess Bleh, the only other desk analyst that wasn't a former professional player in any version of Counter-Strike. You know, even guys you might not think, like a Vendetta or something, did actually play a little bit professionally in CSGO. I know Vendetta did play in Source. And then obviously, you know, when Yanko was on the desk, he still had some, you know, pro CSGO backgrounds in his region and had played at a couple of international events. So yeah, I find myself in a tricky spot where like all the analysts you can think of, you know, Sponge, Sean Gares, Pimp, you know, Maniac coming back, you know, Nothing, you know, these different guys that kind of come in and out. You know, obviously Yanko kind of on his way out, and Pimp might be on his way out as well, but there's a bunch of other pro players who certainly would step in and do it. And again, most of the established analysts seem to have some type of former pro background. So what does that mean? It means they automatically have credibility with the community as being knowledgeable. Before they even get on the desk and make a debut on the desk, the community is already really excited to see that they're going to be on the desk because they are a former pro, and so they think to themselves, oh yeah, this guy knows a lot, he's played, he's going to have all this crazy insight. And then literally after one desk segment, you already see a bunch of Reddit threads about how great they did and how happy everyone is to see them on the desk. And to be fair, they've earned that. Like, they do a good job. I'm not trying to say anything like that, but I'm just saying that there's a level of credibility you automatically have as a pro player to where A, before you even start, people are already excited to see you and happy that you're doing it. And then B, you get a little bit more leeway, I feel like. You know, if you happen to say something inaccurate or make a mistake, you're a lot less likely to suffer the wrath of the community when that happens. Like, a lot of people are still just going to back you because you're a player, and in their eyes, you're amazing for the analyst job or what have you. And again, a lot of these guys do fantastic work. Like, I think Sponge is fantastic as an analyst. Yanko is fantastic as an analyst, as a former pro. Sean Gairds, if he actually decides to go full-time analysis, which it seems like he is kind of doing lately, he is by far one of the smartest people I've ever seen when it comes to strategy in CSGO. Just insanely good at covering tactics and breaking things down and knowing how teams and players like to play. It's unreal, the level of knowledge that he has. And there's plenty of other, analysts out there who do a great job as well. But again, I don't have that same credibility, and so if I make a mistake, it's a lot less forgiving for someone like me. And again, I don't have that instant credibility, and I worked really hard to try to prove I knew what I was talking about when I was doing things for E-League and doing things throughout 2016. I felt like the community in general felt that, yeah, this guy is very knowledgeable, but then, obviously we all know the drama that happened, and it's kind of been rough climbing back since then. But I think I've been, kind of chipping away at it. But it's also true that I've been doing more casting gigs lately. And it's not as if this is, my choice or something. I have to be open to any opportunities. I have to be versatile. If I was only willing to take desk gigs, for example, I would have basically gotten no gigs in 2017. Most of my gigs in 2017 were casting alongside Vince or Hugo or other people. So it kind of take what I am asked to do. I think the fact that I am open to playing many different roles on a broadcast is what opens up doors for me a lot of the time when people are putting talent lists together. So I just wanted to kind of point that out, but I'm still definitely open to doing desk work, but I do enjoy color commentary because, for one, that whole not being a former pro player isn't as against me in a commentary role, though still a lot of the best color commentators are former professional players, like a Moses, like a Henry G, and even DDK was a former professional in other esports outside of Counter-Strike, Quake, being the big one. So yeah, that's definitely still can be a hit against me, but it's not as bad because casting is a little bit different than being on a desk. And I do think that because I like to focus on strategy and tactics the most, and I comb through demos all the time, that's spent a lot of time doing that kind of research, I think I can, bring that into a live broadcast more than I can on a desk. The desk, you don't really have as much room for tactics and stuff, but I don't mind talking about, pick ban or results or form or head-to-head results or, adding context to the broadcast on the desk. I don't mind that. I can do that too. But, I guess I've always kind of had a love for tactics, and I guess there's more room for that in a live broadcast. And on top of that, I just really love working with Vince, and we've actually wanted to work together again, but it's just unfortunately not been able to happen because you don't really typically get to pick your partner in a lot of different events. Not that I don't like working with other people. I've quite enjoyed casting with guys like Hugo and Blue and a little bit with Scrawny and a little bit with other people as well mixed in. But, Vince and I were trying to build something in 2017, and then, things happened and we haven't been able to sync back up. Maybe we will again in the future, maybe not. I think Vince is doing great with the opportunities he's been getting, doing some Masters events and casting opens with other people when he can. And he's also had to kind of pass up on some gigs because of personal stuff, and it is what it is. We'll have to see how that plays out. But again, like, I'm trying to put myself out there more, put together the demo reels. Certainly willing to do desk work, certainly willing to do casting work. Again, I got to remain kind of open-minded on what roles I'll play. And again, I have to kind of know that not being a former pro definitely makes it a little bit harder on me, but I'm not going to let that discourage me. I'm still trying to make a push to do more stuff, and we'll just have to see where the dominoes fall, so to speak. Certainly working to improve. I think I've come a long way in casting in particular, with like talking speed and being more concise and not being as redundant and working better with my co-caster. I think I've really been working on that. So it's just like I haven't been at a lot of bigger events that have a lot of attention on them lately since I've made those improvements, other than a couple of DreamHack Open events. And in one of them, I was doing play-by-play commentary, which isn't really what I normally do. So it's been tough, but again, I'm working on it. I'm gaining my confidence. I feel like I'm ready. It's just about putting myself out there and hoping for the best. I guess the final point on this particular topic is that I'm obviously very passionate about esports, and I'm particularly really passionate about Counter-Strike, and I've loved everything I've done in Counter-Strike when it comes to desk analysis and commentary and doing content, and I would love for this to be what I do for the foreseeable future. I'd love to make a career out of being an esports broadcaster, or at least being in the esports industry. I put so much into it, I try so hard, and I do everything in my power to improve and put myself out there and seize the opportunities I can. some of it's not in my control, but I try to do the most that I know how to do of what's in my control. Maybe I'm ignorant to some things I should be doing that I could be doing, but I do certainly try my damnedest to make it work, and I hope that it does work, and I'll certainly give it all I've got and leave no regrets on the table if I ever do decide to kind of step away. But at a certain point, you kind of have to step away if you can't make things work, if you want to kind of take care of yourself. And I hope it never comes to that, because everyone always tells you to kind of, you know, do what you love, and, you know, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do. Well, that's not necessarily true, because you are still working and you're still putting in time, and it's still, you know, can be stressful and hard. You know, I have found what I want, and so it's just about trying to do all I can to you know, attain it, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm also, with this final push for 2018, going to try to do more YouTube content, more content in general, at least for the next few months, even if it is just for fun. You know, I'm going to try to do that just to try to, you know, work on my craft. I feel like doing analysis videos still helps me kind of practice doing analysis, even if it's not on a live broadcast. So that's definitely something I'm going to do, especially if I try to force myself to make shorter videos that are maybe like 10 minutes or less. It forces me to be more concise, and so that can really help me with desk skills, because you don't necessarily always have a lot of time on the desk. So I think it'll still be beneficial regardless, and I'm still definitely looking to do paid content work as well. It's just I'm not as privy to writing as I am video content, and video content's a lot harder to find compensated jobs for. But we'll have to just see what happens going down the line. And again, I'll also be working on my health. You know, I've been, you know, trying to lose weight and just get in better shape, and I definitely have been doing that. I'm definitely, you know, dropping weight here and there, definitely getting stronger, you know, getting broader shoulders and bigger muscles and all that stuff, though you can't really see that, but definitely am making some gains in the gym. But I've also run to like a significant, serious health hurdle that I've been having to go see doctors about. And it's stuff to do with like my digestive tract, but it's something I'm still kind of fighting and hoping that I'll figure out. Been tough because just like don't have the best medical insurance. It's just expensive in America, but trying to see if I can sort things out on that. That's been another kind of big hurdle in my way on losing more weight and getting in the gym more often, though I'm still getting in the gym 4 days a week. It's kind of crazy trying to figure out dieting and stuff right now with what I can and can't eat based on what I need to be eating to lose weight, but on what dietary restrictions I have based on some of the GI tract issues I'm having. So I'll just leave it at that. Maybe I'll disclose more as I actually figure out what the hell it is. It's still a mystery right now what I'm dealing with. Could be a bunch of different things, but you know, hoping for the best on that. And then yeah, also I'm kind of taking the time to just explore what else I might want to do, because the reality is that there is a limit to how long I can kind of wait around and put myself out there to try to be a broadcaster in esports. At a certain point, I have to either look at maybe just doing something behind the scenes and just being happy that I'm at least part of the industry, even if I can't be on a broadcast, or I need to look entirely in a different direction, because eventually financial responsibilities will force me to move on. Because the bottom line is I can have spurts of really great success. Like I did 4 LAN events in June. That was a huge month for me. But I basically went from like October of last year to March of this year doing nothing except for some smaller online stuff. And I've done nothing in July, not going to be doing anything in August, and I might have a gig in September, but not sure at the time of recording this. And I'm pretty sure I have a gig in November lined up, but nothing for October lined up. So you see what I mean? Like you hit these gaps of no work. And so all this money you made working a bunch of events in a row depletes pretty fast when you go 2 or 3 months with absolutely 0 gigs. So it's definitely made things really tough on me, well, especially with like these medical bills I've been having piling up now. And, you know, eventually student loans are going to, you know, repayment's going to kick in. And, you know, I make ends meet as far as like basic cost of living and stuff. But, you know, I got to think about the future long term. And so I have to kind of sit down and think about, hey, what else might, what I want to do? You know, like I'm not really sure yet what that will be. I'm kind of doing some reading in different areas, seeing what I might be interested in trying to do in case things don't work out. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Just want to do a little bit of an update. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you check out the demos. I'll link them below. And yeah, thanks so much.